My name is Michael Harris. And yesterday, for the first time in 7 years, my dead wife called me. That's the sentence that's been replaying in my head since last night. And honestly, I'm still trying to convince myself that I didn't imagine it. I wish this were some prank or some glitch or some kind of technical mistake, but what happened, what really happened, ran so much deeper, darker, and more heartbreaking than a ghost story. So, before I take you into the nightmare that unfolded, let me introduce myself properly. I'm a 58-year-old widower living in a quiet town in Ohio. I lost my wife, Emily, to a car accident 7 years ago, a night that tore my world apart in a way I've never been able to explain without feeling that same crushing weight on my chest. Emily was everything to me: soft-spoken, kind, patient, the kind of woman who made every space feel like home. After she died, I threw myself into work, into routine, into anything that kept me from thinking too much. My son moved away, my friends drifted, and I stayed in that house like a ghost haunting my own life. And then, yesterday, her number called me 3 times. When I first saw the screen light up, I froze. I didn't even breathe. There it was, Emily calling, the same contact photo, the same ringtone, the same number that hasn't been touched since she died. I felt like the world had split open. My first thought wasn't logical. It was emotional, gut-deep, terrifying. I whispered, "Emily?" Even though I knew better. The first call rang until it went to voicemail. I sat on the couch, my hands shaking so hard I couldn't even pick up the phone. I thought maybe I was hallucinating. Maybe grief had finally wrapped its fingers around my mind and squeezed. But when it rang again louder this time, I jumped up, grabbed it, and answered. Hello? Silence. Not static. Not noise. Just silence. Like someone was breathing but too far away to hear. I felt cold all over. Emily? I said again, my voice cracking. And then the call cut. Before I could even process anything, the third call came, and this time, instead of answering, I hit record and put it on speaker. Again, no voice, no sound, but this time, there was something. A faint tapping, slow, rhythmic, like someone drumming their fingers on a wooden table. And then, just before it disconnected, a breath. A long, shaky breath that made my whole body tense. I thought I was losing my mind. So I did something desperate. I dialed the number back. This number is no longer in service. My stomach dropped. This wasn't possible. I knew it wasn't. I sat there for almost an hour staring at my phone like it was some cursed object. But the truth was clearer than ever. Someone was using my dead wife's number. Or something far worse was happening. I didn't sleep the whole night. Every light in the house stayed on. And as I sat there replaying the sound of that breath, that tapping, I suddenly remembered something small, something I had buried. The night before she died, Emily and I had a small argument. Nothing big. Just marriage stuff. She had tapped her fingers on the kitchen table while I talked a habit she had when she was nervous. That exact same rhythm. That exact same pattern. The memory made my skin crawl. I couldn't take it anymore. I needed answers. So the next morning, I drove to the phone company. The guy at the counter looked at me like I was paranoid, but when he pulled up the records and his face went pale, I knew I wasn't imagining things. Sir, he said slowly, this number hasn't been active since 2018. There's no record of any outgoing calls. None, I argued. I demanded. I showed him my call log. He just shook his head and said, there's no way these calls came from that number. I walked out more confused than ever. But things were about to get worse. Much worse. When I got home, there was a letter on my porch. No sender, no stamp. Just my name written in handwriting I recognized instantly, Emily's. My legs went weak. I sat on the steps and opened it with trembling hands. Inside was a single sentence. Michael, you need to know the truth about what happened that night. My heart stopped. I felt sweat drip down my neck as I read it again. Emily couldn't have written this. She was dead. She had been dead for years. But the handwriting, it was hers, identical. I rushed inside, locked the door, and sat on the couch holding that letter like it might set me on fire. What truth? What was she talking about? That night was simple. She was driving home from her sister's place. A drunk driver ran a red light, and that was it. At least, that was what I had always believed. I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to know what this meant. So I called the one person who had been there the night it happened, Emily's sister, Claire. When she picked up, I didn't even say hello. I just said, "Claire, what really happened to Emily?" There was a long silence, then a shaky sigh. "Michael." I hoped this day would never come. My blood ran cold. "What do you mean?" I demanded. She took a deep breath. "Emily wasn't supposed to be on the road that night. She came to my house because she was scared. She found something. Something she didn't want to tell you until she was sure. She said someone was watching her." I gripped the phone so tight my fingers hurt. "Who?" Claire hesitated again. "Your son." I felt like the air had been punched out of me. "My own son?" "No, impossible. Claire, you need to tell me everything." And she did. Piece by piece. Terrifying piece by terrifying piece. According to her, Emily had discovered that our son, our only child, had been stealing from my business for months. Not small amounts. Huge amounts. 6 figures. Emily had confronted him. He panicked. He begged her not to tell me. She wasn't sure what to do, so she went to Claire's house to think. That night, Claire swore she heard Emily arguing with someone outside. A man, angry, threatening, and the next morning. The police said it was a hit and run. I sat frozen, my heart racing so fast it hurt. "Are you telling me," I whispered, "that my wife didn't die by accident?" Claire sobbed. "Michael, I think your son followed her." I dropped the phone. My breath came sharp and fast. My own son? My flesh and blood. Could he have done something so monstrous? And then everything clicked at once. The calls. The tapping. The letter. This wasn't Emily reaching out from beyond. This was someone sending me a message. Someone who knew the truth. Someone who had seen what really happened. And there was only one person who would want this truth exposed now, someone who had been silent for years out of fear. Claire. But then I realized, no, Claire wouldn't fake Emily's handwriting. Claire wouldn't know the exact tapping pattern Emily used. Claire wouldn't know how to spoof a deactivated number. But someone else would. Someone who had a reason to destroy my son's life before he ruined mine. Someone who had access to everything in my house. Someone who had the technical skills. Someone who had recently gotten distant. Someone who had just asked me for a short-term loan 2 weeks ago. My son, he had done all of this to scare me. To distract me, to push the blame away from himself. But he made one mistake. He used a tapping rhythm only Emily knew. A rhythm he must have heard the night she died. So that night I confronted him. I stood in my doorway while he sat on the couch pretending to watch TV. I held the letter in my hand. "You want to explain this?" His face went pale instantly. He didn't even try to fake surprise. He just whispered, "Dad, I can explain." "Start talking," I said, my voice cold. And he did. He confessed every detail, every lie, every crime, and the truth behind Emily's death. She caught him stealing. She threatened to tell me. He confronted her. She panicked and tried to leave. He followed her. He didn't mean for the accident to happen, but he caused it. He chased her car, pressured her, distracted her. The crash wasn't random. It wasn't fate. It wasn't bad luck. It was him. I felt my entire world collapse in a way I can't describe. My son, my only child. The man who caused the greatest pain of my life. And the calls. The letter. He did all of it trying to convince me someone else knew. Because he thought I knew something. Because he was losing control. Because guilt finally broke him. I called the police. He begged, screamed, tried to stop me. But I didn't. Emily deserved justice. And as they took him away, he kept yelling one thing over and over. "Dad, please. Don't let her haunt me." But here's the truth. It wasn't Emily haunting him. It was his own guilt. And now he'll carry it for the rest of his life. As for me, my phone hasn't rung since, and Emily's number has finally gone silent.